Okay, so I'm back. So the last thing I said was that the water broke, right? All right. So my water broke. I was still in triage. Um, I was still in triage, and I believe I was still there because I was waiting for another room. Of course, the room for me to actually deliver him in. I had to wait for that room. So they came, they kept, coming and going, and the different nurses were asking me the same questions over and over again, which got really annoying. And one of the student nurses even came in and asked me, while I was having a contraction, she's gonna say, "Are you having a contraction?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, what she said, "Does it hurt? Are you okay?"
Can you feel it?
No, she said, she asked me, yeah, she asked me, "Am I okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." Why would you ask me that? Like, who's gonna be okay having a freaking contraction? So, shortly after I said that, she disappeared. I don't know. Whatever about her. I don't like student doctors and nurses because they always stick me wrong, and I went to school for medical assistance, so I know how it is to stick someone properly. And when I get stuck improperly, I just want to fight. She stuck me in my arm, in the weirdest part of my arm, right here. She wanted to put my IV. I've never been stuck over here a day in my life. Like, never. So I have no idea why she tried to do it. I told her not to do it there. I know my veins are good. And right here, you always get something. As I go like this, you can see my green vein right here. Whatever. She didn't want to do it, so I got hurt a couple of times trying to get my IV done. Then she stuck me here for the IV, and she did it wrong. And another lady has to come in behind her, take it out, and do it again. So, I'm not, afraid of pain or, needles and stuff like that. So when I get stuck wrong and it hurts, I know that it was done wrong, and it pisses me off. So whatever that happened. Finally, I guess the room got clear. I went over to, your phone is ringing. I went over to the room for me to deliver him in, and that's when my mother relaxed. My mother and News was there in the room with me.
It don't matter.
Because I was allowed to have two people, so of course I
It don't
chose
matter.
them two. My sister was in a waiting room, as well as a
We're
relative. So that happened,
niggas.
and okay, we're laying there, whatever. My contraction started kicking in, so I asked for the epidural. I knew that if I wasn't too crazy, I wanted to do it naturally, but I knew that if I couldn't do it naturally, I was going to get the epidural. So whatever the case may be, I asked for it, and they had to wait to give it to me. So as I knew, and as my body knew that my epidural was on its way upstairs, my contractions started kicking ass. They really started hurting a lot more. I say I was probably giving it the same percentage I was giving it in the triage section. And okay, so it finally came. I got the epidural done, and it took like 40 minutes. Sorry. It took like 40 minutes for it to like work, and then I only felt it on one side of my body. So I had to the doctor that administered it to me administered it. I did. I just said it quick. Don't try to make me seem like some dummy. I know what I'm saying. So I had to turn over to the side that it wasn't working on, and try to get it, working through that side. That was before the 40 minutes of it not even working. So it I did that, and it still took a while to work. So my doctor finally came in. My doctor from the GYN office that I go to, OBGYN. He came in, and he's looking at the paper with my contractions and his heart rate, and he's like, baby's heart rate is dropping. And he also did a stool inside of the belly, so we have to hurry up and get him out right away. I already knew that a C-section was coming, so he came in and he explained that to me. My mother was kind of dozing off, so he re-explained it to my mother. So before that, to let everybody know, I was in labor for 6 hours. And then I had to get the emergency C-section. Of course, since the hospital was so crowded, I had to wait for the C-section room as well. So then I finally got into the C-section room, and I don't want to scare anybody with the story that I'm about to tell. My body could have been different to the point where even, with my epidural not working as quick as it's supposed to, which is supposed to be between 5 to 10 minutes and 10 to 15 minutes, mine took almost an hour. It didn't work. So this is my story. I'm not telling you this is what's going to happen to you if you have a C-section. I just want to clear that up. So I wasn't nervous about the C-section until I actually laid down, and then they started, covering the bottom half of me and pulling out instruments, and it started getting really real to me what was about to happen. I don't like being put to sleep, and I don't know anybody that really would like to be put to sleep, but it made me really nervous. So news was there, and I looked over to him and I said, I'm scared, and he's like, don't be scared, it'll be over in no time. So, they're getting it together. They gave me another dose of the epidural to make sure that it was working. So I felt them, before they start any cutting of anybody's body part or anything, they poke you with this, what is it called?
Scalpel.
The scalpel. Thank you. They poke you with that. I felt it, but it wasn't like I felt any sharpness. So I felt that. So then, I kind of felt myself being cut, but not like to the point where when you feel a cut and you say ow because it burns, but I felt that. So after they cut you the top layer and they cut your bottom layer, I don't know if any of the females that are expecting or has had a child already had watched any C-section videos, but I did. So I pretty much knew what was going on. So once they cut that layer and cut the inside layer, they start to pull your stomach back. And I felt the tugging of them pulling my stomach back, and me laying down on my back, I felt myself like lifting up, like as they were pulling it backwards. So that was really crazy. I looked over to News and I said, oh my God, am I supposed to be feeling that? Like, and then that's when the guy said, okay, we're gonna put you to sleep now. So he jugged me up again, and the last thing I remember was saying that to News, and after that, I remember hearing a baby crying. This is while I was waking up, and I'm like, I'm tired of hearing babies crying, because when I was in my delivery room, I was hearing babies being born, because people, were already upstairs having their babies, so I'm hearing the crying, and I'm like, when am I going to see my baby? Like, when am I going to hear my baby crying? So he's holding the baby, News, and he's like, boo, look at the baby. Look at Gianni. And I'm looking, but I couldn't see. Like, I was so drugged up. I couldn't even see. What did I say to you?
So, whose baby is that?
News said I said to him, whose baby is that? Is that my baby? I think that's mad funny because I cannot remember that. So I was really gone. So when Gianni was born, I don't remember seeing anything. When I looked at News, I remember seeing a light-skinned baby. And I saw like this much of him, like his eye. That's what I remember seeing. And I'm just like, I don't know what happened after that. I don't even remember them taking me out of that room to take me to the recovery area,
No, I can't tell you because I was upstairs.
They kicked you out already?
I went upstairs with the baby.
Oh yeah, okay. So after they had him, they News followed them upstairs, so they wouldn't switch the baby. You know how they be doing. So he waited for that, or whatever the case may be. And I don't know how much time this video lets me record to upload directly to YouTube. So I'm sorry, but part 3, and this is the last part.